How do I make money on eBay? If you've watched some of my previous videos about making money online, I've mentioned eBay a lot in some of those videos, and today I'm going to be telling you guys how you can make money on eBay. And I know, you guys are probably already saying, well, we know how to make money on eBay. All you do is find old junk around and then list them, but that's not all there is to it, right? I'll be telling you guys how you can actually make a business out of selling on eBay today and make a lot more than just a couple $100s every week. So stick around to the very end of this video so you can find out more about making a business out of selling on eBay. Now, just like any other business idea, I'm going to be telling you how much money you can expect to make, but that's not all. We have to also look at the costs that you will face with this type of business, as well as the limitations or problems that you may run into with this business. And so from that, you guys can actually decide if the pros outweigh the cons based on where you are and if this is another good stream of income for you to add to your business portfolio. Now, just before we get into the details, if you're new here and you're seeing me for the very first time, my name is Ian, and on this channel, I talk a lot about making money, investing, and personal finance. So be sure to give this video a thumbs up and also consider subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications so you can see new videos that I post here, and I post videos here every single day. Now, for all my returning subscribers, thanks for tuning into the channel once again, and don't forget to drop me a comment down below on what you think about this eBay business idea. So first of all, we'll be looking at the cost for selling or listing items on eBay, and one very good thing about eBay is that you don't pay any fees up front. In fact, depending on how you list your items, you may never be charged any fees until the items are actually sold and eBay has collected the money from the buyer, and then even at that point it goes towards your monthly bill and isn't taken from you there. So you can actually start listing items for free, which is great. So of course, if you have a bunch of things at home that you don't need and you're planning on junking them, you can first list them on eBay, and you never know, someone out there may be willing to pay you for those junk items. Most people who sell on eBay and make a business out of it do drop shipping, right? And this is when you find some products, or in my experience, just find one product somewhere else online for less and then list it on eBay for more money. And then when people buy that item from you on eBay, then you purchase it, ship it to the address they put in eBay, and the difference between what you paid for the item and what they pay you is your profit. Now, I did this with iPhone charging cables and earphones, and that worked, but the thing is this: when you drop ship, the profit margin is going to be really low. So on my charging cables, I was making less than $1 per unit, but on the flip side, I was able to sell 30 plus per day, so it was about $12 to $15 per day in profit on average, and I really only spent time once per day, early in the mornings, looking at the orders I got the day before, and then making sure I fulfill them. So that's one thing you can do, and I did this until I realized that if I wanted to make more than just $10 or $12 per day, used items would actually get me a lot more profit. Now, as I said, I was making around $12 per day, right? And even though that's not what I'm going to be telling you guys to do here, 12 times 30, which is the average amount of days in a month, works out to be 360. So if you have absolutely no money to start a business, then this is a great place to start. And I mean, your startup cost is zero. So don't expect to make $1 million when you start a business with $0. Now, if you do decide to do this, I'm going to be leaving links down below to places where you can find small electronic items at China wholesale prices and then flip them on eBay from your living room. So I've got you covered. Moving on though. So after selling iPhone cables, I realized that used cell phones were a hot commodity on eBay, right? I saw sellers selling over 100 units of cell phones per day. And this is also another good thing about eBay. You can actually click on an item and see how much of that item is sold, how much the seller has left in stock, and more importantly, how many they sold in the last 24 hours or even 60 minutes. So I came across some listings where the sellers were selling 20 plus phones per hour, and these listings were for used phones, not new phones. So then I went digging to find out where I could get used unlocked phones that still function properly at a bargain to flip on eBay, because I was curious of how much they were making, and my profit margin from my cable business was just a few $100s per month, and I wanted to scale it up to at least $1,000 every month, right? That's the minimum I wanted from eBay. Now, I won't bore you guys, so long story short, I realized that Craigslist was the place to get these used phones at the best prices and even storage units where the contents were being auctioned. Now, later on, I eventually also realized that Facebook Marketplace is now also as good as Craigslist is or was, and there are also apps such as Letgo where you can find working, unlocked, used cell phones for just a couple dollars. Now, you don't want to mess around with off-brand or generic phones, right? Stick to something that everybody knows and wants, and for that reason, I went with iPhones. I tried doing Androids and selling some Samsung phones, but it just seems that iPhones will get you more profit used than Androids will, so I stick with the iPhones. Now, you can do this with anything really. I'm just giving you guys an example based off my experience, so I'm not telling you that you have to go and sell iPhones. If you want to, then you can absolutely just copy this method, or you can sell other things on eBay just the same. So here's how my typical item goes. I would buy, let's say, an iPhone 6s for $150 from Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace. Now, of course, I have to make sure that the phone is unlocked and the IMEI is clean and the phone wasn't reported stolen, because if that's the case, then I would just be paying $150 for a brick. So I meet the seller, I inspect the phone, I make sure it works, and if I'm satisfied, then I pay for it. Now on eBay, you'll find the same phones used and unlocked for any carrier selling for around $300, or at least that's what it was at that time. So based off the selling price, or the purchase price rather, I just made $150 or 100% in profit. Now I know you're saying, okay, it sounds easy, but we also have to consider the time used to find these deals, the travel expenses to meet the sellers and actually buy the phones, whether you take a bus or you drive, and also very importantly, and when I started selling on eBay at first, I messed up big time because of this one, right? I didn't think about the shipping expenses. So initially I did think about them, but I didn't really verify how much it would actually cost, and I thought that I could just use a flat rate envelope to send a phone in the mail. Now you can absolutely do that, but I did it and I learned the hard way, guys. So don't do it. Send it in a box and a padded one so the item doesn't get damaged. And also you cannot just use economy shipping without tracking, because even though it would cost you less, there are people on eBay who will purchase your items and then lie and say they never got the item, and eBay will more than likely force you to refund them, so you'll be left with no money and no phone in my case. But that never happens if you do this correctly. So shipping for a phone will cost about $15 on average, so we have to subtract that from the profit, and also the fees for listing and selling, which each category of item has a different fee, but electronics, or at least mobile phones, are around 9% on eBay. So my phone that I sold for $300 would cost me $27 in seller fees, because 300 minus 9% is $37, and that would leave me with $273. And then let's say I paid $15 for shipping, then that would leave me with $258. And in addition to that, let's also consider the cost for bubble wrap or some protective layer, and also a shipping box, which you guys can buy these in bulk, by the way. But let's say for this phone, the cost for that works out to be $2. Then I would be left with $256. Now, $256 minus $150, which is what I paid for the phone, then leaves me with $106. So my profit here is actually $106 and not $150. Now that covers how you can sell the items, but if you want to sell a lot of items on eBay, then you need to have an eBay store, as there are restrictions to the amount of items that you can list per month. This is where the selling costs come in if you're going to make a business out of this. Now on eBay, they have levels. So a starter level, or at the starter level, you can pay $7.99, and for that $7.99, you get to list 100 items without having to pay any listing fees. So if you're selling more expensive items, then this works out better for you. If you list them like you normally would, then I think it's around 30 cents per item after the item sells that you will pay in fees. So if you sold 100 items, then that would work out to be around $30. So you're saving money here. Now, when you're just starting out or listing your first item or first few items, I'd recommend that you don't sign up for a selling plan, because in the event you want to back out after your first sale or your first 3 sales, then you would have wasted money, and the eBay business isn't one where you'll be making the same amount of money every day and having lots of sales every day, right? So you can try this out, and if you're happy with the profit margin and the amount of work to make that profit, then you can sign up for one of the selling plans on eBay. Now, the biggest problem with this business model, or at least the one I used to sell phones, was that I wasn't always able to find phones to sell, or at least find phones that were good at a bargain where I could flip them for a profit. So if you can find the product that you'll have a good supply of for a long while, then you can turn this into a business. Now, apart from that, another limitation is seller restrictions, which will be imposed on you because you're a new seller. So again, I found this out the hard way. eBay doesn't trust new sellers, and so when you're new and selling your first couple items, you usually will be restricted to only 10 items per month. Now, even though eBay tells you that you can only sell 10 items per month, what this really means is that you should sell up to the max amount and then ensure that you get good feedback by shipping fast. And as soon as you do, eBay will increase your limits, and they do this once per month. So you may get that limit moved from like 10 items per month to 25 items per month, or even 100, as eBay just randomly does it. Now, if you get all good reviews though, for the most part, within 3 months, you should be able to have the limits go up to about 1,000 items per month, or even 500 at the very minimum. Now, the same goes for eBay's partner, which is PayPal. They have restrictions on new sellers, and so when you receive a payment as a new seller, PayPal is going to hold your money for 21 days. So starting out, you're going to have to wait almost a month to actually have your money. If you ship with tracking though, and that's why fast tracking or fast shipping with tracking is important, then PayPal may release the funds 3 days after the item was delivered. Now, I think I've covered all or almost everything I think I should, and if you guys need any help with eBay or more information, drop me a comment down below and I'll respond to them. And also guys, feel free to hit me up on Instagram, link down below in the description. If you're a new subscriber or viewer here on the channel, be sure to check out my other videos on high yield savings accounts, checking accounts, investments, credit cards, and of course, more ways to make money. Also guys, I've left a couple links down below to free stuff and free cashback offers, so be sure to check the links down below in the description for all kinds of free stuff, right? Again, I hope this video was very helpful and I was able to provide some value to you guys. If you like this kind of content, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. I'll really appreciate it. And also subscribe to this channel and click the notification icon so you can get updated when I post new videos here, which is at least once per day. Now, in addition to that, be sure to also share this video anywhere you think it may be able to reach more people and help someone out as well. Once again, guys, thanks for tuning into the channel. All the best with your business ventures, and until tomorrow, adios.